Hello. Today I'm going to be working on this 2011 Chevy Silverado. As you can tell, it's pretty much a base model truck. So what I think I'm going to work on today is color matching these bumpers and adding some fog lights. So let's get into it. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so let's get into this. As you can see, I got the old Chevy, the 86. It's all covered up. It's taking a nap right now. And I'm going to color match these bumpers. Now that truck is pretty much a LS trim level, I think. LS truck, not a work truck, but LS because it's got power windows. But we're going to color match these bumpers and add some fog lights. And of course, as soon as I go to do that, my air compressor died. So I've had to pick up another one, which I did a review in my last video, a little short review on the McGraw 29. There it is right there. 29 gallon air compressor. And now we're actually going to put it to work and see if it will do the job. So, but let me show you, we're not going to paint the ones that are on the truck because we're going to be out adding fog lights. So what we've got here, we've got the new plastic piece, the big piece that goes down along the bottom, and then the corner pieces with the fog light holes in them, because the ones on the truck don't have that. So I had to replace those anyway. So we've got that, and under here somewhere, yeah, under there, there's a new chrome. We're going to go chrome on the actual metal piece of the bumper. So it's going to be color matching chrome. It's going to come out good. So first thing I got to do is I got to get these prepped up. And what I'm going to use to do that, I'm going to use some gray Scotch-Brite. And then I got some Windex. I'm just going to clean them, scuff them a little bit. I don't want to put like a bunch of scratches in it. I just want to scuff them a little bit and get all that mold release off of them from when they were made. And then I've got some adhesion promoter, some U-Paul adhesion promoter in a can. And so let's get into it and I'll get these things prepped up. All right, so I got everything set up here. I did go ahead, I had some electrical contact cleaner. I kind of wiped it down. You know, you can use alcohol. I just use this because it's not hot enough to melt the plastic, but it does a good job of degreasing. Let's just set it over here. So that's what I use, but you can use alcohol. Now I'm just going to spray some Windex on them. And I got a paper towel here. And I'm just going to take my gray Scotch-Brite, which this gray is a pretty fine Scotch-Brite. And I'm just going to scuff her up. Because like I said, I'm not trying to put big scratches in it because this is already smooth. And I don't want to have to go back and wet sand and try to block something out because I put a bunch of scratches in it. So we're just going to get it just enough to where that adhesion promoter will stick. And will be good. And just, you know, your corners, your edges here, I'm just going to pay special attention to those because that's where the paint's going to end up chipping if it decides it wants to come off. So I'm just going to go ahead and do both of these and that big bumper piece. I'm going to get it done like that, and then we'll be moving on to the next step. Well, okay, hold up a minute. Let me show you the steps and the products I'm going to use to do this. Of course, I already told you about, I'm going to prep it, scuff it up, and I've got this adhesion promoter. I'm going to put 2 light coats of this on there. I've used this product several times now, and it seems so far to work pretty good. Then next, I've got some epoxy primer. And I'm going to thin this out a little bit to make it more like a sealer to put on that plastic. I don't want to get a whole lot of film build up, but the next step will be putting an epoxy primer on it. Then, of course, well, and this right here is Kirker or Enduro Prime. I've ordered this off Amazon several times. It's been a while since I've ordered some. I don't know if they still have it on there or not. It's just 2-part, 1-to-1, you know. Well, however much of the primer you put in, that's how much activator you put in. And then next, I ordered, I think it was a coating store. I ordered this Eurochem brand paint. And this is going to be the base, and this is going to be the clear. And of course, in the little kit that I bought, you get a quart of the base. with reducer and activator, and then you also get a quart of, this is the Glamour Clear, the high solids clear with the activator. So this is the steps I'm going to take. First, adhesion promoter, then I'll put my epoxy primer, then base coat, clear coat. So let's get going on it. All right, well, now it's time to get this paint booth set up. So get everything nice and clean. You know, I've heard it's very important to have a very sterile environment whenever you're painting. So we're going to do the best we can to get this place clean. Okay, well, let's put some adhesion promoter on here. Do about 2 coats of this. Now I've got everything set up in my paint booth. You know, I recommend you get, I don't know, 3 or 4 mismatched fans, 3 different extension cords, you know, plug them all in, and that should get you right about where you need to be. So you can go ahead and get 2 coats of adhesion promoter on all this plastic, and then we'll go from there. Well, that's 2 coats of adhesion promoter on it. I just sprayed 1 coat, waited about 10 minutes, and then I sprayed another coat. And then now I've just waited about 20 minutes to let it all dry up. You know, you can see it kind of gives everything kind of, I don't know, a uniform kind of flat black look. Yeah, I made sure I got it on all these edges real good, because I feel like that would be the point where it'd peel off the easiest. So now I'm going to go ahead and mix up some of this epoxy primer, and we'll get that sprayed on there. Okay, look, got my epoxy primer mixed up in my gun. This is my primer gun. It's a siphon gun. My other one's a gravity feed that I use for base and clear. But just spray 1 coat of epoxy primer on here, and you know, this is where it's going to start to get real. But don't be afraid of it. Just spray it on there. Yeah, it could go horribly wrong, but I'm not worried about it. I'm just supposed to spray it on there, see what happens, because I'm stunting like my daddy anyway. So let me get my mask on. We'll get some of this sprayed on there. First coat, well, the only coat of epoxy primer has been sprayed. Both these end caps look pretty good, but got a little bit of a run right there on that piece. But you know what? That's going to be behind the license plate, so that's how you know I'm living right there, because that's going to be covered up. So far, it's all right. Ooh, there might, maybe a little run right there, but nobody will ever see that. We're not worried about it. So, got that sprayed. With this epoxy primer, I can wait about an hour and I can spray my top coat, but it has about a 2 to 3 day window that you can spray your top coat on top of it before you have to sand it again. So I'm just going to sit here, monitor it. I got that little bit of a run. Got to make a decision on that. Am I going to get ticky? Am I going to try to wet sand it out or not? So we'll find out whether or not I'm going to spray the base coat, clear coat in the morning, or I might do it this evening. I don't really know, but we'll figure it out. Well, that's the next day. I ended up letting that primer sit overnight because the run was bugging me. I couldn't let it go. So I wet sanded that down, and there was a little bit more trash in it than I would have liked, so I kind of nibbed that out. And then I sprayed one more coat of epoxy primer on it real quick, and it's been sitting out. It's about time it's splashed to where I can probably spray over the top of it now. So I'll just get my base coat mixed up here and lay down maybe 3 to 4 coats, and we'll see what it looks like after that. All right, base coat's mixed up. Let's get it laid on here. Well, I'm really happy how this base laid down. The metallic's nice and even, no blotchiness or anything. I put 2 thicker coats on it, and then my last coat, I did a drop coat where, I kind of come back with the gun and kind of just missed it on there. I'm not trying to put down a real wet layer of paint. So, man, I'm real happy with this. So let's get these puppies cleared. Well, clear coat's on. It's curing up, and it was going really, really good until it wasn't. My first coat of clear went on real nice, but my second coat, man, I started to get, got a drip here and a drip here. Man, these things, when I was spraying, they were just flying back and forth, and so it was getting closer and farther away from the gun. Man, it was a mess. So I stopped at 2 coats. That way, I kind of scrape these runs down. I'll scuff them and put my third coat of clear on after I do that. And it's not going to be a big deal because I still have some mirrors I got to paint anyway. So I'm just going to let these cure up nice and hard. That way I can scrape them runs out. And when I get those mirrors done, then I'll go ahead and throw my third coat of clear on here. Sometimes I feel like I'm better at fixing my mistakes than I am at actually completing my project the first time. But that's kind of how it goes sometimes. So, well, that about sums it up for this week. It's about time to go back to work. But I was real happy with this compressor. It has exceeded my expectations. Now, it's only a 29-gallon compressor. It's a 2 horsepower 110 electric motor on it, and it's only like a 5 CFM rated compressor, but it ran this gun really good. As you can see, I put the clear on, like plenty of material. No problem with that. I didn't really get any sags in my PSI or anything like that. I did have some problem with this cheap little regulator I have on the bottom, but that has nothing to do with this compressor. But the gun I used is an R500. If you go on Amazon, type in R500, you find a bunch of these guns. They got them like the chrome looking ones, this black one here, and you'll get the gun and 3 different tips, like a 1.3, 1.7, 2.0, something like that. And that's nice because you get all the 3 different tips with it. But I think you can go on there about $70, $80 now to get one of these. And now I've bought quite a few of them. And pretty much what I do is I'll use, like this one I use for my base and clear. After I use it a bunch, they get a little bit dirty. And sometimes they get a little hard to clean. So once I've used this one a bunch for base and clear, then I'll eventually retire it to like a primer gun. That's where the extra tips come in handy because you can have the bigger tip and shoot primer. And then I'll just go get another newer one and use it again for my base and clear. So if you're looking for a fairly budget friendly setup to do some painting and get started, I mean, you're looking probably $600 on the compressor or maybe $100 on a gun. So $700 to have a setup to get up and going. And painting, you know, you can paint stuff like this, but I mean, really honestly, you could probably paint, I don't know if you could paint a whole car entirely, but you could definitely do it panel by panel. Like you could take a truck and do a cab probably, and then do a bed. So if that helped you out any, let me know down in the comments. And y'all stay tuned, and we'll catch y'all next time.